Abigail. Hey, get out of the sink. Get down. Yes, you. Come here. I'm walking through the cloud of humidified air. What are you doing? I don't know. Did I ever tell you you could jump on the sink? It's a little bit out of tune. I'm feeling very emotional. Been up and down the last week or two, and maybe last month or two. But in the last week, it really hit its crescendo. I was going to see the psychologist because I was under the impression that they would be able to grant me a letter to get my legal name changed. I can't seem to do that from here. To get my legal name change processed, and sorry, I look like I'm leaning. I went with a 15-degree creative angle on this video, but I went to the Southwest Center, which is downtown Phoenix, and I needed some place to resume my hormone therapy here because I was getting blood tests and sending them off to Pittsburgh, and Pittsburgh Central Wellness Outreach Center is just, I don't really have anything good to say about them anymore. But the original doctor who I saw, a nurse practitioner, he was really no red flags, nothing that he did was wrong. Well, I mean, I don't think that he knew what he was talking about either, but I basically told him the hormones I was on, and he didn't have any feedback. And he looked at my results and thought that they were all good in the latest blood tests. But then he also suggested and recommended that I could talk to their in-house psychologist to get these letters of recommendation that I would need for surgery and the legal name change. And so I started to do that. First week was terrible, but it was the intake appointment where they asked all these background questions. So I get to meet this guy. It was a video therapy session, so I just did it on here. And Joe Lupo, there's so many things wrong about Joe, but like the original intake appointment was kind of difficult for me. It just asked me all these background questions, and it made me, I really wanted to go into some detail, so I really had to think about some of these most painful memories that I've not thought about for a long time. So, the second week, it was a therapy appointment, and I got into some of the details around why I'm dysphoric about my voice, getting called sir when people see me in public. As soon as they hear my voice, they're like, oh, there's something wrong. And even though I'm wearing a skirt and carrying a purse and have some makeup on and this nice hat, they'll respond and say, oh, sorry, sir. Like, what the actual... So I'm tired of that, and I really want to get vocal cord surgery. It's called a glottoplasty, where they can just shorten the length of the vocal cords, so my voice will hopefully, just with some practice, it'll be a lot easier to keep it up there. I would have to focus on nothing but my voice if I were to speak with a higher voice right now. But I also got into some of the other, things that are troubling me, and my identity is, I'm blooming, and the more I think about it, the more I want to get bottom surgery. I was thinking about breast augmentation, but I really don't think so. Who needs bigger boobs? Like, I kind of like the fact that I'm not going to be gigantic anyway. But that's just me. It's personal preference. Everybody's different. So the third appointment, I originally scheduled it for Thursday, and it turns out that I didn't have Thursday off at work. I had Wednesday off. So on Monday before, I called to try to reschedule, and they were there, but they were on the other line. So the receptionist, I left a message, a voicemail. And so I just said, hey, this is Willow. Could I reschedule for Wednesday? I have an appointment on Thursday, but I can't actually make that appointment. They didn't call me back until the next day. But when they did call me back, they dead named me. My file, it has my dead name, parentheses, Willow, so I don't know how long people have worked at that clinic, but if you put something in parentheses, you know that there's two names. You probably should double check before you start naming somebody. On top of that, the voicemail that I left, I said that I am Willow. If you're gonna call back and say, hi, Brian, you fucking shouldn't work. You just shouldn't. So for a day, when it happened, I told her, oh my God, that's my dead name. Please promise me you'll never call somebody by their dead name again. I can't believe this happened. You're working for an LGBTQ clinic, and you should know better than that. Promise me that you won't do this to somebody else. And they said, oh, but I'm going by the name that's on your chart, the name that's on your insurance card. And I said, bitch, my insurance card does actually say Willow Gillingham. So, quit lying. You fucked up, you made a mistake, and just promise me you'll do better. That's all I want. I don't ever want to hear my dead name again. So that's why I'm going to therapy, to get my legal name changed in the first place. To get my voice pitch increased, I'm also going to therapy for that reason. So that the dead naming and the misgendering are two of the biggest things. Now, the very first time I had an appointment there, I was filling out the insurance paperwork on a tablet. They let me use a tablet. And it was my first visit there, but I was wearing a skirt, had purse and everything. And I heard the one receptionist say, "Oh, did you give him the tablet to do the insurance information?" And she's like, "Oh yeah, I gave him the tablet." And I heard this from 10 or 15 feet away, and I stood up and I walked towards the desk and said, "Actually I prefer she, her pronouns." I mean, so at this clinic, the Southwest Center in Phoenix, I was misgendered and dead named. So come Wednesday, I had my appointment with the psychologist, and I definitely needed to bring it up with him that the staff there should know better and that they maybe need to be trained or replaced. And he became defensive. He said that he's never heard anybody else complain that the staff had misgendered them or dead named them. And I had to say, do you think I'm making this up? Like, so that I could try to make a better case for my legal name change, or, to get the voice surgery? I'm not making this shit up. If you go out there and ask one of them now, they'll tell you that it really happened. So he and I argued back and forth, and it was supposed to be a 1-hour appointment. And in the end, I told him how it felt, how his treatment of me was bad, and he should have really, rather than play it down, he should have treated it like a very serious matter. Yet what his the way he he just told me that he's trying to make me better able to cope with things like that, because these things will happen and they're going to happen. And I said, no, I am sick and tired of it happening, and it shouldn't happen at an LGBTQ clinic at all, ever. And I said, this is why I need to get my legal name changed, because if they look down on that piece of paper, even though he also said, well, we're going by what's on your insurance paperwork, which is Willow Gillingham. So he's fucking making shit up too. But that's why I also need to get my legal name changed, because if my name was legally changed, it would be impossible for him to look down, or the receptionist to look down and ever see my dead name. Impossible. Never get dead named again. This is why I told him, this is why I need to have the vocal cord surgery, because my voice is so deep. It's the single biggest thing that I hate about myself. And I really love myself. Like, I adore myself so much more than I used to, but I just can't magically make my voice match my body, match the cultural expectations. And I'm doing it for my own sanity, because it really ruins my day when people do that to me. And most of the time I know they're not doing it on purpose, and I know they're not, but it happens. And even if they're not doing it on purpose, that maybe even pisses me off more, because it's an automatic thing. It's like, automatically, you've got that deep voice, you're a sir. Like, fuck your automatic, strong language warning. So a little bit after that, I told him how he's um, inexperienced and asked him questions. Then it was me psychoanalyzing him. And he didn't like that. He really didn't like that. But in the questioning, I asked him if he's ever before processed the legal name change. Has he ever written a letter for the legal name change? And he said, no, I've never done that. Which blew my mind, because I think that with the frequency in this city of 7 million people, that there would have been maybe a couple people a month that would get their legal name changed. I don't know. Pretty good with probability and statistics. I don't know about him. But then I said, well, that's really weird. Like, I would have figured that you would have processed some legal name changes before. And then I said, well, doesn't this clinic do that? How long has this clinic been in business? And he said, I really don't know. And I'm like, wait, you work for the clinic and you don't know how long the clinic has been in business. How long have you worked for the clinic? And he said, a couple months. And I'm like, okay, you've been doing this for a couple months. What were you doing before this? Changing tires, oil changes? Like, were you roofing or doing framing work for carpentry? Like Joe Lupo, you are not a psychologist. You are simply, okay, so personal attacks aside, I'm going to definitely call the American Psychological Association. Well, I'm going to write to them. And they need to know, the clinic that he works for needs to know that he's caring for people, or not caring for people in the way that he should. And the very next morning I had an appointment, and I was treated a million times better. I've already, in a single day, I had references to a vocal, the aesthetic plastic surgery, I don't know what it's called. It's the Arizona Aesthetic Plastic Surgery something, in Scottsdale, and also another surgeon in Scottsdale for bottom surgery. And I got those calls on Friday, and that's 2 days. No, 1 day. 1 day after I had my appointment. So I'm getting my prescriptions refilled, and I've actually got an appointment to go have my initial consultation for vocal cord surgery. And some people think that it's going to, ruin my singing voice. And to that I say, oh well, because I love singing, and I think that I've got a good singing voice, and if it sets me back and I can't sing for shit after this, small price to pay, because it's a million times more important for me to be able to talk. So that's my priority. Other than that, I mean, I have tons of beautiful friends, wonderful, genuine friends. I'm living in Mesa, Arizona. This is a place that 6 or 7 years ago, my girlfriend at the time and we were thinking we should move to Mesa. At the time we were in Pittsburgh. And we broke up. I got a job, University of Pittsburgh, the rest is history. But in January of this year I moved here, and I couldn't be happier that this place exceeded every expectation that I had. And I think, I was a little bit extra happy. Like, work was going great. The weather was fantastic for January and February. I was going out and doing things, meeting people, going places, exploring the city, making friends. And then March 17th, everything stopped. It really was sort of, stay-at-home orders. It just sort of imposed an immediate stop to everything. And like, I'm not manic depressive or bipolar, but that going from like super happy to you can't do anything, and you're just left here in this apartment with nobody whatsoever, not a single person. And the extra icing on the cake was that I was dating a girl, and the weeks leading up to March 17th I could tell she was becoming more and more distant, but she gave me every expectation that we were fine. And we were intimate once in late February, and I cried in the middle of it. I cried, and I went home crying, actually. Cried for the rest of the night. And at that point in time, I think she was done with me. Over the next couple of weeks, she gave me every reassurance. Yeah, we'll have sex again. And no, that had nothing to do with it. And yeah, I'm just getting busy with work, and this coronavirus thing is making it difficult. And I promise we'll still go to the Grand Canyon, or I can't wait to come over and see your cat, or I'm sorry I blew you off that hiking 2 weeks ago. And then when she blew me off the second time for hiking, I was like, you know what, nobody blows off Willow. You can kiss my ass. I'm done with your lies. And it broke my heart. She messaged me back and apologized up and down, and even, but I'm validated. Everything that I thought. I mean, I've got a great gut feeling. You're 26 years old, and you can't fool somebody who's 50. You just, like, I've been around. I have a really better understanding of people's genuine or true intentions. And I don't need somebody to blow smoke up my ass and lie to me. So since then, I've been pretty depressed. I can't help it. I mean, she was my first relationship since transitioning, and gorgeous young woman treating me like a woman and making me feel accepted and special. I felt so special that when I realized she blew me off to go hang out with another woman, I felt so extremely unspecial. And I don't know why it was hard to explain to her how that could hurt me more. But young people are ignorant, and it's not, some younger people are wiser and more mature. And I wasn't actively going on dating sites looking for people under 25 years old or anything like that. I'm definitely looking for people under 45 or something, because once they get up to my age, they're looking like, and they're very jaded, and they're very American. So there's 1 in 1,000 at my age that looks anywhere near like they would be interesting, fun, venturesome, and alive enough for me. But she liked me first, and I was surprised. 26-year-old liking me. But since that time, I have found that the average age of people who like me on all of the dating sites is maybe 26. Yeah. Especially the boys. They are 21, 19, it doesn't freaking matter to the boys. I wish that I liked men, and I'm still sort of holding out hope that there will be, you know, some man with good energy, and it's just that I feel that the testosterone gets in the way and they don't value the things that I value, which is understandable. And so I kind of identify as a trans lesbian. I'm definitely not looking for men, but they definitely find a way to find me and message me. Trying to keep an open mind, trying to keep my spirits up, trying to keep my chin up. I think I'm going to end the video now, but I'm doing a lot better since that psychologist incident. I know that the future is going to be bright for me, and we'll all get through this coronavirus thing. And quit looking at my boobs. They're not there. So have a beautiful day, gorgeous.